Hey, what is going on, guys? It is the Short Sports Show. I'm your host, Daniel Short. Today is Monday, May 19th, 2014. Got a jam-packed show full of just college football news and the NFL. A lot of things going on. They got the NFL owners meeting that starts this week, talking about what's going to happen with the Super Bowl in 2018. Where is that going to be? Cities, bidding everywhere. We also got NBA conference finals. Just a lot of stuff to talk about, and we actually have a good amount of college football stuff to talk about, which we will get into right now. First things first, University of Washington reinstated quarterback Siler Miles on Wednesday after he had been suspended while police investigated a Super Bowl night fight that happened. He was also with teammate and now former teammate, wide receiver Demaria Stringfellow, who was also charged, he was charged with 2 accounts of 4th degree assault and 1 account of malicious mischief, the same night. Will transfer. Siler Miles, who was expected to be a starter this season and at least compete for it and be one of their main focuses on offense, has now been reinstated. Much expected for him because they know how important he was being a top recruit and now being able to come back. How he will play, but he's gonna have some competition. He's gonna have good competition with him, but I don't know. I think Siler Miles does take the starting job by beginning of the season. Also, Pac-12 Commissioner Larry Scott and San Francisco 49ers CEO Jed York will make the official announcement during a news conference Thursday that the Pac-12 championship game will be played on December 5th in Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, home of the San Francisco 49ers. We talked about this last week on my show that, Pac-12 was thinking about going to a neutral site for the Pac-12 championship game. Thought about University of Phoenix Stadium in Arizona, where the Arizona Cardinals play. The Seattle Seahawks CenturyLink Field in Seattle, Washington was also thought about. But this one was just the odds-on favorite. And Levi Stadium, brand new. 49ers are going to play there. This is where it's going to be held at. So it's going to be nice to see how this goes out and how the game being in a neutral site. But I wouldn't mind still being at a neutral site, but you rotate it. Maybe going to the Arizona, where the Cardinals play, going to Seattle. It'd be nice to see them do like a three-city rotation system. But either way, Levi Stadium is going to be a nice place for the Pac-12 championship game, which will be played again this December 5th this year. An interesting news coming out for former USC quarterback Max Whittick, as he is not expected to transfer to Texas. And off the field, something happened off the field with him. Could possibly lead to a delay in Whittick's graduation and gaining immediate eligibility. The Austin American-Statesman reported earlier Wednesday that Texas was, quote, backing away from offering Max Whittick for undisclosed reasons, as Louisville and Hawaii are other schools that Whittick considered. Last season, he had 212 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception after losing the job. But while I was scrolling through, this was from a different website, a different source, and then I found this that had the same story, but it says, according to the Honolulu Star Advertiser, Whittick will not graduate from USC this month as expected and will instead receive his diploma this coming December, meaning he would not be granted immediate eligibility at the FBS level as a grad transfer for the 2014 season. Whittick could still transfer to an FBS school, but would be forced to sit out this season and would just have 1 year of eligibility in 2015 remaining. Or he could drop down, play at the FCS level, play immediately, and then transfer back up to the FBS level for his senior season. So crazy things going on with Max Whittick, not knowing what's happening. But what we do know for sure is he's not going to be a Longhorn this season that a lot of people expected. And really, it takes a huge shot for the Longhorns, really wanting him to be there. If he would have been there, most likely, depending on how David Ash is doing, Max Whittick would have been the starter. And now Texas is kind of scrambling at quarterbacks, not knowing if Ash is going to be healthy this season, or he's going to have to go to, one of your younger quarterbacks, and are they going to be able to perform as well? They can perform later, their sophomore, junior, senior seasons. But as a freshman, are they going to be able to step up in the Big 12? So now not having Whittick, that's going to hurt them. But who knows what's going to happen with him, because now it's all messed up for him. Best thing for him to do is the last option, which is play at the FCS, go to some FCS school, whichever that may be, play that season, and then you can transfer back up to the FBS level and play your senior season without having to skip a year or anything like that. But as of right now, he's hurt right now. He's hurt. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that goes. And a really good story, I'm sure a lot of people have already heard by now, is that incoming recruit Antonio Turner, who's currently homeless, is now allowed to receive immediate assistance from Boise State after the NCAA granted a waiver request Wednesday. Turner told KTVB TV in Boise that he had been living in a motel and in his girlfriend's car, and even in the past and on park benches due to various financial and family issues. Under the waiver, Turner can receive, among other things, room and board from Boise State because he is now allowed on campus. He's 6'3", 2-something, defensive end. He can make a pretty good impact for the Boise State defense. But he had just a strong story to him. As he grew up in New Orleans, he lost his mother to cancer when he was 4, had a bad relationship with his father, and then lost an uncle during Hurricane Katrina. After all that, he ran drugs for gang members in the lower 9th Ward until they realized he was playing sports and during his senior season and gave him a, quote, pass. This is what he had to say to KTVB TV in Boise, saying, quote, "I was playing football and was having to go home until late at night. They kept me out of the streets. They may be thugs, they may be gangsters, but they actually cared. They kind of gave me like a pass." And then that was it for that. But a really good story for them. Glad the NCAA didn't have some stupid little rule where they, can't, because as we all know, and if anybody's seen The Blind Side, it was kind of like that. Michael Orr being homeless, boosters basically brought him in, let them live in their house and bought him things all against the rules. Anyway, well, it had a little bit of tweaks in there. But him being homeless and not knowing what was going to happen with him and stuff, now they were able to give him room and board and other things like that. Boosters were afraid to even tell anybody about Turner because they didn't want any, the NCAA thinking he was already getting things from Boise State and having sanctions put on them or other stuff like that, investigations, because it all looks bad. But one thing that kind of threw me off is that, how was he, even without a waiver, why couldn't he already have room and board? If he is already, been accepted to Boise State, he's going to play football, he's got a scholarship, what's the issue? Shouldn't you already get room and board like every other student does? So, I don't know. It's kind of different, but really good. Either way, good story. Is brought in and now has a good living situation, better than it was before. Bad news for Oregon is that 2 backup quarterbacks are transferring in Jake Rodriguez and Damian Hobbs. Hobbs was a 3-star member of the Ducks 2013 recruiting class and was rated as a number 26 dual threat quarterback in the country, coming out of high school in Cedar Hill, Texas. Much love to Cedar Hill. He took a red shirt as a true freshman last season, and Jake Rodriguez was the main backup under Marcus Mariota the past few seasons. Both of them transferring, going obviously to different schools. From what I read, there was no favorites what schools to land these quarterbacks, but bad for Oregon because Mariota goes down. You got 2 more quarterbacks. I believe one's a walk-on and one's a true freshman, and what's going to happen. I know they have what I believe the number 11 pocket passer quarterback in the country that's coming out of the 2014 recruiting class. So he'll be there later this fall. So you do have 3 quarterbacks, but all very unexperienced. None of them have taken any college snaps, and not used to a college game yet. So Jake Rodriguez was the main guy who was, a very solid backup. I believe he took a few snaps last season, and is now transferring. But any news that comes up on them where they plan on going, I will let you guys know. Other news, Maryland offensive lineman Moise LaRose has been suspended for 1 year for violating the university's code of conduct. LaRose was a 3-star member of the Maryland Terps 2013 recruiting class and played in 4 games as a true freshman and starting in 1 of those games. Other news, former Indiana quarterback Cameron Kaufman has decided to transfer to Wyoming. It only took him 4 months to make the decision, but been quicker than Max Whittick with what he decided in December he was going to transfer. Unbelievable. Anyways, Kaufman appeared in just 3 games and attempted 9 passes in last season. But in 2012, he suffered, the starting quarterback suffered a broken leg, and Kaufman took over, threw for 2,700 yards, the second highest total for a Big Ten quarterback that season. So had a lot of potential. Think he was going to be started last season, didn't work out. And now is going to Wyoming. Unclear if he's going to be eligible to play this season, but if it is, look for him to be the starting quarterback for the Wyoming Cowboys. And funny story of the week has to be Rice head coach David Bailiff and his coaching staff sent a letter to a quarterback out of Houston Kincaid High School, 3-star 2015 prospect quarterback JT Granto. They sent a letter to his cat. Yes, his cat. The letter was addressed to the player's cat, literally. And it said, quote, "As you know, we are trying to convince JT that Rice is a place for him. I know you like to keep him close so he can feed you and change the litter box. Please help us to get him to choose us. Call me if you have any questions." And that was it in the letter. JT later verbally committed to Rice, all because of that. Now, that's very creative by Rice. And apparently Rice is really wanting him. They believe he can be their quarterback of the future. And shout out to David Bailiff. Remember where you're from? Texas State. Used to coach Texas State when we were winning. Such a good days. Anyways, I thought that was crazy. JT even put up a picture on Twitter showing him with the cat and the letter saying that he committed to Rice. And, that's crazy, but it's very creative and it worked. It worked. It sounds, if you're not a cat lover, you might think that's completely stupid for anybody to do that. But I guarantee you, if that's your team and that's the way you got one of your star recruits to commit to you, you're going to be all right with it. So awesome by Rice and head coach David Bailiff and his coaching staff to get that done. But that's it for college football news. Moving on to the NFL, and the major news that happened last week was Colts linebacker Robert Mathis was suspended 4 games Friday by the NFL after violating the league's ban on performance-enhancing substances. Mathis said in a statement he was seeking fertility assistance and acknowledged that he and his wife are expecting a baby. And didn't know that this was a banned substance. Actually, he had a quote. It's very long, but I'll go through it. This is what he had to say to address this situation. Saying, quote, "It is difficult for me to address the circumstances surrounding this situation because they involve very personal medical information, but it is very important to me and my fans, particularly young people, understand what did and did not occur. Like many families, my family and I faced fertility challenges and sought medical assistance. I specifically asked the doctor if the medication he's prescribed for me would present a problem for the NFL drug testing. And unfortunately, he incorrectly told me that it would not. I made a mistake of not calling the NFL or NFLPA to double check before I took the medication at the end of last season. The union has worked very closely with me to present all facts and medical records for the consideration of discipline. That does not include a suspension because of the unique facts of my case. But the commissioner refused the request, and I am deeply saddened that this situation will prevent me from contributing to my team for 4 games. And I regret that I did not cross-check what my doctor told me before I took the medication. I hope that my fans will understand the unique circumstances involved here and continue to know that I am a man of integrity who would never intentionally circumvent the performance-enhancing substance policy agreed by the NFL and the union. The incredible blessing of this very upsetting situation is that after I took the medication very briefly at the end of last season, we learned that my wife is expecting a baby. We are thrilled that we are welcoming a new member in several months, but I apologize to my teammates, coaches, and the Colts fans that I will not be able to contribute to my team for the first 4 weeks of the 2014 season, and I will work extremely hard during that time to stay on top of football shape and stay in football shape. I can't speak, and will be prepared to contribute immediately upon my return. Very long, but you know, it's a crazy situation that happened. Obviously, taking any medication, no matter what it is, he should have, you know, told the NFL, okay, this is what's happening, NFLPA, whoever, and say, hey, this is what I'm taking. Is this all right? I know this is what the doctor said. And usually when the doctor tells you that, you're already assuming, okay, you're good. But really, how many of the doctors really know exactly each single drug or medication, whatever, is banned and what is not? So he should have double checked, saying, I'm taking this because of this reason. And maybe it would have stopped him, say, hey, look, you can't do it because this is a problem. It's banned, blah, blah, blah. But in other words, I mean, in another way, the NFL really should have been like, all right, look, he didn't take anything that was going to do anything to performance enhancing to make him better on the football field or get him stronger or anything like that. And because of his specific case, look, we shouldn't suspend him. I think what the NFL, the league is doing is wrong. I don't think they should have suspended him. They obviously know Robert Mathis has never had any trouble on or off the field. So it's wrong that they, couldn't change this up a bit. And if they had to suspend him 1 game. You don't need to do 4 games like he took drugs or something, like literally, marijuana or any type of steroids or anything. He had a specific case that is different than a lot of the NFL players have ever gone through. And it was a little tiny thing that kind of messed up. That's it. It's nothing bad. So honestly, I think the league is in wrongdoing now. Mathis again should have told the NFL that, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I'm taking. Doctor said yes. Oh wait, it's bad. Okay, shouldn't have done it. But in the end, since he didn't do that, the league, I don't know. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but I think the league is wrong. They did have this to say, saying, quote, the drug is for which Mr. Mathis tested positive, is not approved by the FDA for fertility in males and is a performance-enhancing drug that is prohibited for years. Importantly, Mr. Mathis did not consult the policy's independent administrator, a physician jointly approved by the NFL and NFL Players Association, nor did he consult with his team doctor, the team's training staff, and the NFLPA, the league office, or the hotline established under the policy to give confidential information to players. Each of these sources would have warned against using the substance, end quote. So basically, they wanted to make sure, since they're not going to change and go back on this, that he didn't talk to any of these people. Then again, I mean, he had his own case in that I don't think he needs to talk to every single one of those because he didn't want the word getting out on his situation. It's very personal. No one would want that out there. But again, still, okay, he didn't do that, but what he did still wasn't bad. You know what I mean? It had nothing to do with him trying to get better on the field, or didn't take drugs, marijuana type stuff. So in the end, you shouldn't suspend him for 4 games. It should just be, if you're going to suspend him for any games, which I believe he shouldn't be suspended at all. But if you had to suspend him, first game of the season, that's it. Get over with. Move on. Not 4 games like he did something completely terrible. Mathis is eligible to participate in all offseason and preseason practices and games, but once it hits week 1, boom, can't play the game, and that's about it. But crazy story. But moving on, rookie quarterback Teddy Bridgewater will get reps with the Minnesota Vikings first team offense during the team's OTAs. Coach Mike Zimmer said Friday, saying, quote, Bridgewater's throwing the ball good. I think he has good presence and good command the way he's taking things. It's good for him to be out here with the veteran quarterbacks a little bit last week for a few days. It's not like, hey, and then when he was asked about how he was performing on the field, he's saying, it's not like, hey, I'm throwing an out now. He would say the whole formation, the whole play, what's going on, and go from there and just repeat it as he goes. That was impressive. That's what Mike Zimmer, head coach, had to say about Teddy Bridgewater and how he played. And, you know, I'm not a Vikings fan, but if I was, I'd be very excited for what Teddy Bridgewater can bring. Again, I don't think they should start him this season, just because develop him, let him learn a lot what's going on, an entire season of knowledge, let him sit back and watch, and let Christian Ponder and or Matt Castle just take the snaps. You know, obviously in OTAs, preseason, and in practices, let Teddy Bridgewater compete or play as if he's QB1 all through preseason. Even let him start the last preseason game. Let him play all 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, sit him out. Whoever your 4th string backup is, let that guy play, and then cut that guy or whatever. But let Bridgewater play as he's the number 1 quarterback off season and preseason. But once it hits week 1 of the NFL season, back up. Let him sit. Let him take the knowledge. Now, as Vikings fans, you don't want that. You want Bridgewater to go out there and hopefully become the star that you see him as, that he could be. But really, you should really want him to be the backup quarterback and let him sit and just let him take in the knowledge. Let him learn everything, the different situations each week brings, the preparation for each team brings. And just let him sit, let him learn, because that's going to make him so much better come next season. Next season, he's got to be ready to start. And he should be named starting quarterback by the beginning of next season. But I'm really excited to see what Teddy Bridgewater can do throughout the OTAs, the off-season practices, and preseason. But week 1, throughout week 17, sit. Let him learn. Let him learn. Another rookie quarterback is in Cleveland, and his name is Johnny Manziel. And when asked about being a backup to Brian Hoyer, Manziel shrugged and said he understood his standing, saying, quote, I'm a rookie. I need to earn my place. I need to earn my keep. Nothing here needs to be handed to me. I don't need to be treated based off what I did in the past, because that doesn't mean anything at this level. Going on, the head coach, Mike Bettine, says, quote, he knows that if he wants to be Johnny Football of the NFL, that he's got to earn it. I think that's at the end of the tunnel for him, but he still has to travel through that tunnel. But a lot of excitement going out in Cleveland. Those shirts, I don't know if you guys have seen. I'll put a picture up right now of what Cleveland is selling. And you got one shirt where it has Johnny Manziel in the Browns away uniform, white jersey, and he's got up his money sign. It says on the back says Manziel number 2. And then he also got, I want to wreck this league together. All these different, if you live in Cleveland, if you live in Ohio, or shoot, if you're just a Browns fan, go make some t-shirts. You can start your own business right now. I'm helping you out right here. And you can sponsor me too if you want. This is what you do. Create a website. Probably costs about $10 a month, right? Create a website. Go run some shirts. Get some different designs. You don't have to be the most creative person at it. Just get a few ideas. There's a lot of ideas out there right now for Johnny Manziel. And just, boom, start making some shirts. Start selling them. Amazon, your own website, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever else is out there, bam, start selling. And you can make your own money for Johnny Manziel. So I'm just saying that's out there. But if you do that, I want my logo somewhere on the shirt where it's visible to a lot of people. And on your websites, and just let you know, I'll probably want a royalty as well. No, I'm just joking. But anyways, you know, a lot of excitement in Cleveland for the Browns and Johnny Manziel. I'm excited. I'm not even a Browns fan. I'm not a Browns bandwagoner. I'm not gonna jump on a bandwagon. I told you guys that I hated Manziel throughout his freshman season. Didn't really like him sophomore season, but then when it came to the Duke game and the not the Cotton Bowl, what was it called? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Played against Duke. That game, that's when I was sold on Johnny Manziel, and ever since I've been a fan. I continue to be a fan of Johnny Manziel in Cleveland. Hope he does his best. I'm going to buy his jersey, too. I have to get Johnny Manziel. I just don't know. The brown color, the jersey is just weird. It's brown. And then the white jersey, I mean, I'm not a dirty person. I just don't want the jersey to get dirty. You know what I'm saying? Because it's white, and they don't really have any other colors. I mean, I guess they have the orange one, but I don't really like orange either. So, they don't give me that many options. Probably just buy the brown jersey. Anyways, I'm totally getting off focus here. But Johnny Manziel, the excitement there is crazy. They're limiting the national media and even home media, limiting very much because everybody knows Johnny Manziel is there. Let's talk to him. Let's see if he says anything that's gonna blow everything up. But it's exciting. I can't wait. I'm following. I have the Browns web page and their sources. I have them bookmarked on my computer, on my iPod, my phone. So any news comes up, I want to watch the videos on Johnny Manziel. I want to see what's happening, see how he's performing, and how he's settling in the NFL. It's crazy. It's crazy, but I'm very excited. And I don't know. It's cool to keep up with them. And I can't wait when preseason starts, especially game 1. That's why the Hall of Fame game, they should wait to announce who's going to play. I mean, it's not like, you know, that it matters, you know, that they have to say it so early. Just wait, because people buy tickets anyways before it even happens. So why not wait? Put the Browns against the Texans. Browns for, you know, obviously Johnny Manziel, and then the Texans, Jadeveon Clowney, because that's what everybody was talking about, you know, all before the draft and even during the draft. Everybody was talking about those two players. Boom, let them go against each other. First game preseason in Canton, Ohio, which is where the Browns are close to. Kabam. There you go. You sell so many more tickets if you're worried about selling tickets. I think they sell out anyways because it's, you know, the Hall of Fame game, but I'm just saying. Right there. Anyways, moving on. Eagles announced this morning that they have re-signed wide receiver Aurelius Ben, who was cut Friday. Last season, he didn't play after tearing his ACL last summer. And other news, the NFL draft. Where is it going? Well, it's likely, quote, likely to leave New York in 2015. Peter King of the Monday Morning Quarterback.com reports that, quote, it is likely the draft will be held in a new city next year. King guesses that Chicago will be the destination. The league doesn't want to hold the draft on Mother's Day weekend again. Peter King believes that it will be unfolded on April 30th through May 2nd. So there you go. So we could see the NFL draft, the 2015 NFL draft, be hosted in Chicago, with April 30th being day 1, and then May 2nd, 3 days again. Really wish it's 2. You know, if, again, I keep bringing it up. If you haven't seen the documentary, 2 days in April, gotta go watch it. I know it's on Netflix. It still might be on YouTube. I'm sure if you type it in, you can find it somewhere else. But it's kind of old. I think it's back during the 2006 or 2007 NFL draft. But it's crazy to see what the players went through, how they performed, and then also, you know, what it's like. Anyways, it's very awesome documentary to go watch. But anyways, what do you guys think about the NFL draft leaving New York and either A, just being in Chicago, or a rotation set again? or being somewhere else. What do you guys think about the NFL draft leaving, starting next year? And also, do you still want it to be 3 days? Do you want to go back to 2? Do you even like the idea of 4 days? Put it down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. But, I really wish it would stay in New York, but a rotation would be nice. Because you could always say the season starts, you could put it where the Super Bowl is going to be. Season starts right there. Let's say the Super Bowl is going to be in Chicago. I'm just throwing it out there. I know it's not, but I'm just saying. Say the 2015 season starts in Chicago with the NFL draft and ends in Chicago with the 2015 Super Bowl or 2016 Super Bowl, whatever it would be. Could do it like that. But obviously Super Bowl is not going to be in Chicago. But anyways, very interesting. I would like the NFL draft to stay in New York because that's where it's been. And, it's always exciting. It's New York. It's a big city. And also I would want it to go back to 2 days, 1 through 3, first round, second round, third round, first day, 4 through 7 on the second day. Bam. Awesomeness. Other news, Cardinals general manager Steve Keim says safety Tyrann Mathieu could play in season opener, saying, quote, there is a chance he will be back by the beginning of the season, and saying that he has been a gym rat. He's here all the time. We have to kick him out of the building and tell him, Tyrann, go home for a bit. He's always in the training room doing his rehab. I told him, Ty, don't listen to anybody because nobody can tell you and pinpoint the exact return date. That's up to you. And he's a machine. He's the kind of guy that can really come back a lot earlier than people anticipated. So Tyrann Mathieu, a lot of people were, questioning, will he be back this season? Is he going to start, on the IR? What's going to happen with him? But, a lot of optimism for the Cardinals and hoping that Tyrann Mathieu can play season opener. Me personally, I don't want to see him season opener because the Chargers play the Cardinals. I believe in Arizona. So I would rather not see him there. But, I know the fans of the Cardinals really want to see him play whenever he can, but it's going to be exciting. What is also very exciting, we'll finish the show off right here with the NBA playoffs. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals started yesterday with the Indiana Pacers hosting the Miami Heat and dominating. The Indiana Pacers, led by Paul George with 24 points, won 107-96. Dwayne Wade with 27. LeBron James looked like a rookie. Looked like his first game. He made so many mistakes. I'm not an NBA, expert. I don't watch basketball a whole lot. I now, with the playoffs, I love watching the playoffs. But it was like weird. He was jumping at everything, missing at everything, and just, acting like he had never been there before. And the Pacers have just started getting hot. Like, they were supposed to be the number 1 team in the East. We had seen them struggle all through the playoffs, and now the final games against the Wizards, they were playing very good. And now against the Miami Heat, I know it's only been 1 game, but they showed, a championship type caliber team that they can be. Roy Hibbert was going off. I mean, the Pacers were just set. Delonte West, I don't even know if I said his first name right, but West, whatever his name is, he was having a good game. Miami was just out of it the entire game from first quarter to last. It was crazy, but Pacers lead the series 1-0. The Heat have to win this next game, and I'm not saying the season's over for them if they lose, but I'm saying they got to get an early game win on the road. They can win at home. They got a lot of bandwagoner fans there, and they're going to be cheering and stuff, but they can win at home. But if they can sneak a game 2, if they can sneak that victory over them, then you can look after 2 home games in Miami, you can be looking at a 3-1 lead. If not, you could be going after game 4, you're looking at 2-2, or even you're down 3-1 if the Pacers somehow get a game win on the road at Miami. So getting an early game win for Miami on the road is very valuable, is very critical for game 2. Anyways, tonight the Oklahoma City Thunder are on the road against the San Antonio Spurs. Now, through the season, the regular season this year, the Thunder swept the Spurs 4-0. Now you got playoff series. Can the Thunder do it again? Can they sweep the Spurs? Now obviously, I don't see a sweep for the Thunder or the Spurs. But it's gonna be an interesting series, very much so. You got Tony Parker, who they don't know. They say he's gonna be healthy. Say he's gonna be ready to go. And I'm trying to look up because I remember one of the Thunder players. Was it Okafor? No. It's Sergio Ibaka. There was a report saying that Tony Parker and the Spurs remain skeptical. Cannot speak today. That Thunder forward Sergio Ibaka will miss the conference finals, Western Conference Finals. Saying that he could still play. That he could still play and come in, and maybe it's just like a smokescreen the Thunder are trying to throw out there and get the Spurs focused on someone else. When you see mid first quarter, maybe second quarter, you see Ibaka come in and the Spurs are like, oh, okay, yeah, he is playing. But it's gonna be a good game tonight. Starts 8:00 Central Time on TNT. Game 1, Thunder at the Spurs. Gonna be awesome to watch. And that's it for today's show. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, favorite, comment, all that other good stuff. If you're listening on iHeartRadio, Spreaker.com, leave a like, share, YouTube, share with friends and family. Let people know that you can get your sports news here. And I'm excited. Off season's gonna be crazy for football. You got the NBA playoffs that are starting. The finals. Gonna be intense. Gonna be very intense. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys next Monday morning, Spreaker.com. And also, I forgot to tell you guys. Spreaker, I got it working now. Apparently, Internet Explorer does not like my microphone. Doesn't want to connect. That was the problem I was having. And now, I'm using Google Chrome. It's working fine. It's looks smooth. Everything looks good. So, and Spreaker, I'm talking to you. You never replied to my message, and I needed help. That was y'all's fault. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm back, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Facebook. Become a fan on Facebook, The Short Sports Show. Follow me on Twitter at @short_sports 24/7. I will see you guys next Monday morning. I'm out. God first, God bless.